Hello, and welcome. So, in case you haven't already heard the news by now, Daft Punk broke up about a little over a week ago, and in tribute to the massive influence their music had on myself and many others, I made a Daft Punk inspired song that I uploaded on my TikTok and my Instagram. But that was like a very quick breakdown on what were the parts that made up the song, but I didn't really obviously go into too much detail since of the time constraints. So in this video, that's gonna be the actual breakdown. This is gonna be the very specific breakdown. And then at the same time also I can go more into the thought process of why I chose the sounds the way I did, and some more in-depth explanation for anybody who cares to watch. So when I was making this song originally, let me just start with that. When I was making this song originally, I wanted to go for a homework / discovery era type of song. So from those two albums, there are, great songs all around. I think of One More Time, Digital Love, and then from Homework, Around the World, of course, The Funk, all of those songs. So my mindset was, all right, I want to make a song based on if between the two, it could fit in one or the other, but definitely leaning more towards the Discovery era, since that was the one that had the most impact on me growing up. And so with that being said, Daft Punk is known for taking phrases, entire phrases, and then just using that as their foundation to then just start building and layering sounds on top. So Digital Love is a good example. It's an entire phrase, right? And then they use that as their main bass in the song, and then everything else that you hear is just built from that main bass, that main sample. So I kind of went for a similar route as well, but then I also wanted to see if I could get some more specific chops in there so I can get something more of my own rhythm going. So for a One More Time thing, I found this sample, and it's called Forget That Girl by, I hope that their name is actually said like this, Delightful. You really gotta pause each time to enunciate that. So this is what the sample sounds like, just on its own. No effects, no nothing. That's played at the intro of the song. I just took all of that, put a crap ton of effects on it. I warped the hell out of it to get it on time with the tempo that I chose for this, which is 126, which between 123 to 128, 29 is where you'll find a lot of the Daft Punk tempo. A lot of their songs revolve around those BPMs. With the effects and everything, I have this basically going on. So I pitched it up to get it in key. Very slightly though. Right. That part is pretty clear on where obviously that came from the sample itself. It's literally the first couple of bars of the phrase itself, just straight up used. Where I personally got happy, super happy over, is if you listen here, the very end of the phrase, you're gonna hear these horns that come in. So when I heard those horns, I knew there was something there. The whole sample is great, but those horns at the very end, when it came in, I knew there was something there. I took those horns, I chopped them up, and was able to create this. I don't know, that was a really proud moment for me. It's not even that complicated, but man, put a smile on my face. Let's talk about the drums now. So Daft Punk is a French house duo. Obviously their sounds and the music that they make branch out to a lot of different genres as well. But originally they started off as a French house duo. That was their main, crowd. And so when they dropped Homework, obviously that was sort of the main genre that you would hear in all the songs. The drums they use, Daft Punk are hard gearheads. They love their hardware, and of course with that, drum machines, specifically Roland TR 909. So in spirit of that, I took the sound from the Homework era drums. So let's just solo out the drums on their own so you can hear what they sound like. So as you can see, not a lot of variation, not a lot of switch up. The drums are very consistent throughout the entire song, since that is usually as well as what Daft Punk ends up doing. The drums don't change a lot. It's usually everything else that changes, but the drums usually stay very consistent. I complemented the main drum groove with some tambourines and shakers, so what we get from that is a shaker with it to accompany it. Gets a groove going. Then the last drum sound is this drum loop that I actually took from the same sample that I used for my chops and for the rest of for the main foundation of the song. I just took that drum break in the beginning and warped it into time, put some effects on it, beefed up some of the sounds so it wasn't so thin, and I just put that as like a layer with the Roland drums, so that way you'd get like this nice kind of like, it doesn't overpower the Roland drums. It just gives like a nice little boost, like almost an acoustic boost to the very like hard, drum machines type sounds that obviously you get out of the Roland 909. So just on its own, this is what the drum loop sounds like. And right here I have a little variation. Alright. So all together with all the drum sounds now, this is what we get. Nice. Next thing we got here is the bass. I wanted like a very round, very like plucky bass synth. So using my nice little microKORG synth that you probably can't see in frame, I was able to get one of the patches to sound the way I wanted to. And so what I ended up getting was this. That's pretty much it. So with the drums and the sample so far, this is what basically for like a good chunk of me making the track I just had. So next main part are the vocals, of course. I mean, if anybody's ever heard a Daft Punk song, ever, you will hear that signature sound Daft Punk always uses in a lot of their songs, which are the vocal vocals. It makes you sound like a robot, pretty much. And so on their own, these are what the vocals sound like. Definitely went for a Digital Love kind of vibe with the lyrics. And yeah, so that's pretty much the idea. I do have a breakdown here. I guess I could show you that. Yeah, so you get the idea. It's just me repeating the same phrase over and over again as other sounds start to build up around it. So now, at this point, everything else is just sort of ear candy and little, fuck what you call that? Bleeps and bloops, right? Oh, definitely I should talk about this real quick, actually, because it's actually a very major role when it comes to Daft Punk songs. They use a lot of filter sweeps. A lot of filter sweeps. It helps with transitioning from section to section. Filter sweeps are nice. Filter sweeps are our best friend. We like filter sweeps. So this next other, like, I guess after like the core sounds, this is probably like the next most important sound, is this Wurlitzer electric piano that I grabbed. Nothing too crazy, literally just a stock piano I grabbed from Logic's sounds. So just the piano and the vocals. And now the synth. Alright. So you get the idea for that section right there with the Wurlitzer, and then the vocals accompany that as it plays out right as then the build-up starts to happen towards the end. So here, this part, this was just a... I mean, honestly, yeah, I just like that sound a lot. That's why it's there. Oh, you know what? Oh, this is exciting. All right, but I'll talk about this first. So here's the same sample we had that you heard in the beginning, the first sample. Not the chops, just the actual, like, part, the actual song itself playing. But I chopped it up, so that way there's a difference between that and what you hear in the intro, essentially. This is what that sounds like. Right. So that helps with the build-up and everything. Before I forget, let me talk about this. It literally only comes in right before the build-up releases. But it's, like, hands down, probably in the entire song, this is, like, my favorite sound. It just literally only comes in the build-up. But it puts a smile on my face every time I hear it. So let me just play it first, and I'll talk about it. So nice. It's only there for a moment, but it definitely makes it, you know, it doesn't overstay its welcome, and at the same time, it definitely leaves its mark there. It makes a statement. It helps uplift everything, just in a subtle way. Oh, that's right as well. I also added a filter sweep on it, so that way it'd come in more smoothly with the other sounds. And so yeah, that's pretty much the entire song in all its glory. That actually was faster than I thought. Alright, so I think that's the end of this video, actually. If you want to check out the entire song, I'll have it linked to the video I have separate to this that plays the song on its own. Thank you for watching. If you guys liked what you saw, smash that like button if you want to support, and subscribe if you want to see more. See you all for the next one.